Welcome, everybody, to another episode of HomeKit Insider. Are you looking for wholesome, convenient meals for this jam-packed fall season? Get Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, and get eating well off your to-do list in just 2 minutes. Get 50% off Factor with code HOMEKIT50 at factormeals.com/HomeKit50. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. You've got me, as always, Andrew O'Hara, here with my pal, Steven Robles, which, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Steven is actually short for Steven Weaven likes to sing Polly Wolly Doodle down by the seashore. It was very long, 2 lines on the birth certificate. They had to have approval from the mayor of Florida to even do it, but that's his full name. It's true.
I just want to say I was not born in Florida. Just to clear the record, just to set the record straight.
Well,
I was born. Yeah.
See, the thing is, though, it was such a crazy name, they could only get approval from Florida. So,
fair enough.
It makes sense.
Fair enough. I was born
Checks
in New
out.
York, if anybody was wondering. Also, I literally had Factor for lunch today. Literally. Now, I'm not saying literally like the kids do today, where they'll say, I literally jumped out of a plane or whatever, but they really didn't do it literally. Like, I literally ate Factor for lunch today, and it was delicious. I just want to say that. Oh, Andrew, we got some big news. Big things came out last week as everyone listens and watches this show, and so we need to get to it. 17.1 updated all of my things, the TVs, the HomePods. We'll get to that. Do want to give one 5-star review shout-out. Andrew, this is not you, Andrew. This is a different Andrew. Andrew JM, not OH. Andrew JM13 from the USA. He says he listens to the Apple Insider or HomeKit Insider podcast every night. Now, I was a little concerned when I read this because we only release episodes once a week. So that's 5 other days in the week that I don't know if he's re-listening to previous episodes. I don't know if we help put him to sleep every night. I mean, that's fine if our voices are comforting and you enjoy hearing about HomeKit plugs and matter as you drift off to sleep. And then have nightmares about your HomePod update because it takes 3 hours. No, just kidding. It wasn't that bad this week. But thank you. And speaking of Apple Insider, you should definitely check out the Apple Insider podcast. Comes out every Friday. Me, Wes, and William do that. And the Apple Insider Daily, where you get the top Apple headlines in just a few minutes. Links to those podcasts are in the show notes as well. Last week, Andrew, big update. 17.1 iOS, tvOS. What do we call the HomePod thing? Do we just call it HomePod 17.1? What do we call
HomePod
that?
Software Update 17.1. Like, that
Perfect.
is Apple's name for this. It just rolls off the tongue and then falls flat. That's...
Yeah. Oh, did you notice my color scheme, by the way? Because when this episode comes out, tomorrow is Halloween. But actually tonight, well, this wasn't even on our list. There's an Apple event tonight.
That wasn't even on the
as
list.
This episode comes out. I totally forgot about that. And Tim Cook's going to come out in a ghost outfit. He's going to say, "Good evening." That would be amazing if he did that. It would be amazing. I don't think he is. But anyway, okay. Maybe we could. Yeah, probably not. We can talk about that in a second. So 17.1, big update here was Matter support for locks, HomeKey support for locks. Did I get that right?
Smart home wise, that's the biggest thing. HomeKey locks or Matter locks can now support HomeKey. There's also a minor bug with watchOS 10.1 that was fixed, where climate information would not be displayed in the Home app on your Apple Watch. So that's been solved with watchOS 10.1 as well, which brings double tap to the new watches.
I'm curious to double tap. I've not run any. Oh my goodness! I just double tapped and my watch did something.
No.
I've not done any beta on my watch, so I did not know, and so I just did it. Apparently, if you're on the watch face, your home screen on your watch, it brings up your widgets, and then
Your
I can
smart
just
stack?
your smart stack. I can keep tapping and see all the widgets. Wow.
Yeah.
I got to play around with that. This is my first time experiencing that. I also want to say
What's kind of weird. Go ahead. No.
No, because I'm going to get off double tap. So you go ahead. Double tap.
I was going to say what's weird is I was using quick actions for a long time, like at least like 6 months or so, on my older Apple Watch, and even the new one I was using quick actions. And the biggest thing that I started using it for was dismissing notifications. Because sometimes I get annoyed where there's notification, you put your wrist down, you pull it back, but it's like still there. I'm like, get out of here, and you can just do a double tap and dismiss the notification with quick actions. But double tap doesn't do that. Double tap has different functionality because quick actions was more as that like accessibility feature to control your watch. Double tap is like more functionality for your normal average user. So if you have something come in like a, let's see what these are. I can see what happens when I double tap on a calendar appointment. It's like scrolling. Oh, that one accepted. So it accepted a calendar appointment that came in. If you have a
Just by
message,
double tap.
message is really nice because if a message comes in and that's through Twitter, through Slack, all these ones, you can double tap and it'll automatically open that reply. Then it'll immediately start dictation so that you can read your message and then double tap to send it. So it is really cool with messages, but it just has different functionality from quick actions. And it took me a long time to like literally, like, I'm still probably getting used to it, but to switching from dismissing things to actually making certain things actionable.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done this, but I just went to the home app on my watch to double tap and see what happened. It probably was going to shut everything off, but no,
It'll
it didn't
probably
do
do
anything.
nothing. And then gives a
Yeah, it
little
did
wiggle at
nothing.
the top. It's like a little jiggle.
Yeah, little wiggle, little haptic feedback, let you know we know you tapped, but we ain't got nothing for you. So that was that. I just want to say that one thing I'm hopeful for 17.1, two things. One, screen time. Again, like I'm probably one of the few people who like use the heck out of screen time because I have 3 kids. They're all in the screen time. I manage all their settings over the iCloud. 17.0, there was known bugs. Apple actually said that 17.1 is supposed to fix screen time bugs where settings were not staying set. So I am hopeful that that fixes it. And I don't know about you, Andrew. I know you're usually on the beta cycle, so I think your experience might be different. But my HomePods in general, I get like firsthand. I get the radar reports that are normally sent from developers to Apple. They're sent from my children to me because if they can't trigger Siri to play music, they come complain to me and they say it's not working. We can't play music. We want to play music around the house, and so 17.0, like Siri was not doing. Oh, poop! I said the word. I'm looking at my HomePods, making sure nothing's going to happen. Anyway, it was pretty spotty. Like, and my kids could not trigger music very well. So I'm keeping my eye on 17.1. Hopefully, it is launched. Also, the dialogue enhancement. If you have a pair of HomePods paired with an Apple TV, you can now turn on that enhanced dialogue feature, and I guess hear dialogue better. Have you tried that or noticed any difference with that? I had not tried it yet.
Yes, I have, because I believe this was originally doing just the full-size HomePods, and now it'll do the HomePod minis as well.
Correct.
Yeah, this is always a thing with my HomePods when I'm using these as speakers for my Apple TV. I know there's a lot of staff here at Apple Insider that really likes using them for their Apple TVs. I don't. I like how easy and seamless it is, but it never... The dialogue is often muddled for me or muddied. It's not super clear. And then like my wife and I, we have to like crank it up, and then we're like worried that it's gonna like make noise in like Harrison's room. So it is. I don't know. And some people have had similar experiences. Others have not. I think the HomePod Minis are pretty solid about it. But I do like the dialogue enhance. I don't think it makes it sound any worse, but it seems so far like it's easier. And to be fair to people on both sides of this, it's going to depend on the mix of your show or movie. So,
right,
if you're not watching the same thing as me, you might not be having these issues. It's just going to depend on how loud the background sounds are that could be making these things happen. But I have been happy with this feature.
And to be clear, Andrew just watches The Bachelor on repeat. So unless you're watching
the Golden
that,
Bachelor specifically.
Oh, is that different? I don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah, it's the older version of The Bachelor.
Like
Like a grandpa age, like 70-year-olds, but The Bachelor. Okay. That's it.
Oh, is that for real a show? Is that for real? Like
yes, it's
thing?
for real a show. Yes.
Wow. Whew. Okay. Well, anyway, tonight, as you listen to this episode, is Apple's Crazy Fast event. Andrew, this invite came out. It was like rumor Thunderdome the last 2 weeks. It was like Ming-Chi Kuo versus Mark Gurman versus Digitimes versus everybody. And it was like we went by, so it happened yesterday, which was that. We went through Monday and everybody was like, some people, no event, Apple is done for the year, they're not releasing anything else, like nothing, we're done. And then Gurman came out in his Power On newsletter, and he said, looks like Macs are coming out by the end of the month. And then, bam! Tuesday, events go out for crazy fast. This event is Monday, October 30th. Andrew, the event happens at 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. People in the UK,
It's bizarre.
It's like going to be midnight for them, I think, or
Yeah.
like 1 in the morning, something crazy.
It's going to be midnight
What?
because of the time change.
Right, because they do the daylight savings, which is why have we not done away with that?
Which
But anyway,
even more confusing, the fact that you're doing it on time change night. You're doing it the day before Halloween. I would not be surprised if they're... I mean, I guess you're probably not necessarily trick-or-treating at 8 o'clock. That seems like later, but I don't know. The whole thing seems weird. And I guess 5 p.m. for Pacific timers, like, that is prime dinner time, child time, whatever. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
strange. There's no in-person part. This is just a stream video event. And the invite on their website, on Apple's website, it goes from the Apple logo to a Finder face logo, and so it seems clear this is Mac related. Again, there's the rumor, like Mad Max Fury Road, of like, is it going to be M2 or is it going to be M3? Would Apple release an M3 chip in an iMac before the Apple Vision Pro comes out in a few months with an M2? And that sounds
I know, and it
old.
was weird internally. Like, we had basically heard, like, no M3 till 2024. Like, that Apple had basically bought up all the supply capacity, focusing on iPhones and everything like that, and there wasn't going to be really time to get, you know, a good M3 production run going. And even the analysts weren't even saying it. Like, the Aqara, the original one that had revealed the event, was, I think, saying M2 stuff. And Quo and Gurman were both like, mum on specifically saying the words M3. Now they're spitting M3s out of their ears, and it sounds like, yeah, M3s are a go, and we're going to have high-end MacBook Pros. We're going to have maybe a new MacBook Air, which is wonky when we got a 15-inch MacBook Air literally a couple months ago with the M2 in there. I wonder if they're going to leave the M2 and then like offer it a more expensive M3 version of the 15-inch Air. Because why devote that much supply capacity to a 15-inch Air if you're going to replace it in only a couple months?
It seems very strange.
I could see the M2 sticking around, just like we have an M1 version of like the MacBook Air sticking around. Maybe, I don't know. And then we got the whole iMac situation. It seems like a mess. Yeah,
I'm hopeful. The one thing I'll probably buy is USB-C peripherals. So hopefully a Magic Keyboard and Magic Mouse. Maybe they'll redesign the Magic Mouse. Maybe that's what's crazy fast. What's crazy fast is you can charge your Magic Mouse and use it at the same time. It's crazy. And it charges fast. Maybe that's what it is. I'm hopeful actually for a larger iMac. That's some of the thoughts going around, is that maybe they'll bring back the 27-inch or maybe even a 30-inch iMac with an M2 or M3. And I have a 2018 Intel Mac Mini doing like server stuff in a closet, and I can't update it to macOS Sonoma because it's too old. I guess like the 2018 Intel Macs, you can't update. So I would love to get an Apple Silicon Mac in there so I can run the latest macOS. So I'd be itching. I might get an M3 Mac Mini. You know, it's a good value. It's good value. So anyway, we'll see. Keep your eyes peeled on the site. It's happening, like 12 hours from probably when you're listening to this episode, or maybe less. So, all right, let's get into some, who knows? Let's get into some HomeKit news, and then we got to talk about Matter 1.2, because it's actually a big deal for us HomeKit users. So, first of all, huge deal. Huge deal. Where is my foot pedal? Here we go. Aqara announced pro versions of their Z1 smart switches. Aqara, they've just been releasing crazy stuff. These are wild-looking switches. They have like 4 to 5 buttons and dimmer sliders. These are announced. They're not necessarily available yet. And again, some of Aqara stuff is like, maybe it'll come to the U.S., maybe not. But they look pretty futuristic. I think they look pretty cool. I would be down for this. I'd be down, because I have a Leviton stage not the stage controller. Yeah, is it the stage controller? You got the Wemo stage controller. You got the Leviton scene controller. Boom. That's it. I have a scene controller with the 4 buttons on it. So I like buttons. I'd be down for, if you've listened to the show, you know I like buttons. So I'd be down for more buttons on my Switches. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see if it comes to the U.S. And then you have another note in here, Andrew. This thing, this is like made for you. I think they had you in mind when this company made it for you. I don't want to show the picture and ruin it. Andrew, what is next on the list?
Okay, listener Michael sent this into us. This is called, the website is just called Coop. Website is coop.farm, I believe. And this is simply called the Smart Coop. And it is a modern, it goes right to a picture of eggs, not even the coop. Slideshow timing was inopportune. There it is. There it is, right there. It is basically the size of a parking spot, is how they're kind of pitching this thing. And it is all the room that you need for your small flock of birds. They have super heavy gauge steel run around the outside, not normal chicken wire or anything. There are multiple cameras that'll show indoors, so the roost cameras, so you can see them inside and outside. It has a free run door on the outside, so you can let them go out into the yard if you want them to be free range, or you can keep them in the coop. There is, it's supposed to be climate smart. It has an automatic door that opens and closes based on the time of day and stuff like that. It's got so many cool things built into this. Now, you do need to be close enough to get Wi-Fi. That's going to be important because that's what the cameras and everything connects with. But it actually uses, they have a thing in there, I'm pretty sure, about like predator detection. And it can like detect things like a fox or a raccoon or whatever it is. I also love that they have...
What does it do when it detects it? Is it like, get away?
It alerts you. It alerts you. I think it...
Go away,
I don't know if it turns on lights. There's so many things. Like, I have questions and not... They say it holds 4 to 6 chickens, 28 square feet of total space, 2 nesting boxes. They have... I think it was in that one spot... They actually have like little compostable trays that you can use for cleaning it. So you don't have, cleaning it is terrible, our coop. And I actually put in like laminate flooring so that it's actually easy to get everything off of. And then if I ever needed to, I can just roll up this laminate flooring and toss it. But something like a compostable tray like that, way easier. And you get 12 month supply of those with your chicken coop. There's so much cool stuff here. This is brilliant. They're pitching this kind of for anyone who's in like suburbs or cities because it's a little bit more space, a little bit smarter in terms of like how it gets rid of some of the biggest problems. For us, it's definitely predators that we're worried about, and I try to put cameras back there, but it's just a little too far. So where ours is, cameras wouldn't reach, but I think this is such a cool idea. It's such anything you get. They even have egg cartons that they'll set you up with. Like, come on. Like the Smart Coop. I don't even need to design one. That was going to be a whole business idea, and someone's already done it.
Listen, I'm not mad about this. My kids wanted to do chickens, and I don't want more animals around. We have a dog. I say, if you want to have any more animals, it's got to be one in, one out. You know, we have to do something with the dog. But this thing is pretty cool.
It is so
I
cool.
might entertain it. Looks very cool.
Look, let me just advocate for chickens for a second. One of the I love having chickens. Like, I'd never thought about having chickens before my wife said it was basically like oh no, we're having this. We're having chickens. And they're easy to take care of. There's not much you really need to worry about. We check on them every day, make sure they've got water and food. They eat almost all of your scraps. So we head out kind of in the afternoon or evening, and you just toss them all your scraps from the day before, so they get rid of a lot of waste that would go into the landfill. They give you tons of eggs. Right now, ours are molting for the winter, so we're not getting many eggs from them. But generally throughout the year, like, we are getting more eggs than we can keep track of. They're healthier than store-bought eggs. There's so many things, and they're so easy. It's not like they're inside or anything. They want to be outside and running around. They're a very cool, easy, low-maintenance animal to get. Environmentally friendly. they don't really cost that much. The more you feed them with your own table scraps, the less you have to even buy for chicken food. So I don't know. I'm a chicken advocate now.
Andrew O'Hara, chicken advocate. We need a lower third. But this Coop is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It'll be in the show notes, and it's $2,000. But I mean, that's a lot of stuff for $2,000. I mean, you get the whole Coop, cage, cameras.
I spent less than that to build ours when Faith and I did it.
Sure.
But we also don't have like that. We don't have like the cameras and stuff. So had I put in like the cameras, maybe it would have been a little bit more. And they definitely used a lot more stainless steel than I did, because like that whole run is stainless steel posts and everything. Ours is a wooden run that is then like steel reinforced along the sides and everything. So it's I'm sure similarly strong, but they have more steel in it, and also just way easier. This was weeks of building ours. Like 2 people, colors, everything. It's nuts. So
yeah.
So easy just to put this up. So many other smart details to it. I love it. This is brilliant.
That's cool. There is a $20 a month subscription if you want like 30-day camera history, and you want the yearly supply of trays, like to change out for the cleaning thing. But yeah, so there is that. You don't have to pay it. You can still watch the cameras live, but you don't get the 30-day recording. So anyway, the information's on the website. You guys can check it out. That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. All right, we have a huge Matter 1.2 news we need to get to. But before we do, I'd like to thank our sponsor for this episode, Babbel. Andrew, I don't know if you knew this, but yo puedo abrir la puerta con mi reloj. Do you know what I just said there?
If I smack my belly, it turns red. I think.
Yeah, that was not even close. I said,
dang it.
I said, no, I can unlock my door with my watch. See, I did a HomeKit related thing there. That's because with Babbel, you can learn so many different languages, and you can actually sound like you speak it. One of my favorite features of the Babbel app is you speak into it, and it gives you like accent training. It'll let you know like how you're sounding, and it'll give you tips to change it. It's amazing. So here's why you use Babbel: because it works. You can start speaking a new language in just a few weeks with Babbel. Instead of paying hundreds of dollars for a private tutor, like Andrew, he's tutoring me in Japanese. If you want to give it, just kidding. Or fooling yourself with language apps that there are little more than games. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are designed by over 150 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. And it's designed for real people, for real conversations. All of Babbel's tips and tools for learning a new language are approachable, accessible, and rooted in real-life situations. My parents are actually fluent in Spanish, and my family's Puerto Rican. And like I learned it in school, but I forgot like most of what I learned, as I think all of us forget most of what we learned in high school. But trying to brush up a little bit on it because I still have relatives that speak Spanish, and Babbel is the way to do it. With over 10 million subscriptions sold, Babbel is real language learning for real conversations. So here's a special limited time deal for HomeKit Insider listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription. That's 55%. But only for our listeners at babbel.com/HKI. You can go to that link in the show notes. Get 55% off at babbel.com/HKI, spelled BABBEL.com/HKI. Rules and restrictions may apply. Gracias, Babbel, para sponsoring the show. I still forgot to look up how to say sponsoring in Spanish, so I'll get that next time.
The only Japanese I know is Mac Aqara, which is just the Japanese Apple blog that had leaked the Apple event. They pop up every once in a while in the news. They're like 70-30 or something with their percentage, but I'm pretty sure that's the only
not the most accurate
only Japanese I know.
Oh, namaste. You can say namaste, which I think is like peace. I got that. Anyway, we're going to get in trouble if we keep trying to speak other languages. So let's get to the big Matter news. Boom! Matter 1.2 adds robot vacuums, fridges, washers, dryers to HomeKit. This is very, very exciting. I'm excited, but I'm also hesitant because this is going to depend, I think, on manufacturers updating their devices with this Matter spec so it gets into HomeKit. But I don't know, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but the device types are refrigerators, vacuum cleaners, air conditioners, dishwashers, launder machines. This must have been William who wrote this. No, you wrote this. What are launder machines? Laundry. laundry machines, launder machines. Anyway, smoke and carbon monoxide. I thought that was a British thing. Smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, air quality sensors, fans, and air purifiers. It's very exciting. Andrew, tell me, will my robot vacuums that I have now get into the Home app? That's all I want to know.
Okay, there is so much to break down here. Like, there's a lot, a whole lot.
It's not a good
so
sign.
let's
Not a
start
good
off
sign.
with what I think you and I are most excited about, robot vacuum cleaners. It's what I made the
Yes.
head of this article when I wrote it.
Yes.
A few things that we know right now, right? We know that Roborock is part of the CSA. There's other device manufacturers that create vacuums that are part of the CSA. So we know that, and we also have heard, just generally, that robotic vacuums have been one of the most requested device types to be added to Matter.
Right.
So it's very cool that they are here. But especially with
Yes.
something like robotic vacuum cleaners, there's a whole spectrum of what these things could do through Matter. Now, for the most part, I think it's going to be good, and we're going to have to see how actual companies implement it. But so the features that we're going to have here, there's going to be remote starting it, of course. There's going to be progress notifications and alerts. So if something goes on, there's brush status, air reporting, charging status. All of those are exposed through. And you can also change your cleaning mode. So if you want to vacuum it versus mopping, those are things. But like your mapping, I don't think we're going to have like room by room selection. Stuff like that is still going to be within the manufacturer app. So that's on the downside, but I think we could see this. Companies like Roborock have not been, I guess, like publicizing whether or not their devices have met the minimum specs for Matter. So I don't know whether we're going to see this via a software update or if we're going to have to see new hardware. I would surmise that we will have answers in January, and you can bet your britches that I'm going to be pressing them when I'm seeing them in January of like, hey, that's a nice fancy new shiny vacuum you've got there. Does it smell Matter? Like, that's the exact thing with the exact voice that I will say
Yes.
come January. So I don't know if we're going to get what we have right now in Matter, but we will have them, I think, sooner rather than later. But it's two parts. We need to know if Apple has added support for Matter 1.2. We just had iOS 17.1 release. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. We've reached out to Apple for comment, and we have not gotten a confirmation or, a denial by the time that we are recording this. But hopefully, that if it's not in 17.1, 17.2 should be coming out early next year. And if we see products announced at CES, I'm guessing we're still looking at like March before our first like robotic vacuum cleaners end up in the Home app. But this is still exciting. This is the release of the spec. It means products can now be certified with the spec, come to market, and all of that. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Here's a question for you. Would you buy a new robotic vacuum cleaner for Matter, or would you keep what you have now?
I'll be honest. So it seems like that specific room cleaning would not be supported in this spec, meaning if I wanted to just clean rooms A, D, and F, rather than go through a whole cleaning, that this might not surface that granularity in the Home app. Does that sound right?
It does. That's what I think, which is interesting because I wonder, because think of how complicated this gets, Steven. In the Home app, you already have rooms, right? Rooms and zones. If Apple could tie those to physical mapping done by a robot or whatever, that'd be very interesting because you could naturally call out your zones and your rooms that you've already named in HomeKit. But right now, I don't see that there.
So the reason why I wanted to clarify that, because if you can't do that, I would not buy a new vacuum just for this, because I actually rarely just tell my robot vacuum to clean and have it do a whole house sweep. Again, with kids, there are often rooms where I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if I send the robot in this room, it's going to choke on something. Something's going to get stuck in that brush. There's going to be a toy. There's going to be who knows what. And I cannot send it in that room right now. And that is usually the case. So unless I could granularly tell it what rooms to go clean, the home side of it is probably not going to be as useful for me. It would be great if somewhere in the spec, I have no idea, if it could just like surface the map that you would see in Roborock's app or Ecovac's app, just see that map in the home app, kind of like how, well, I guess you don't see it with temperature like sensors or whatever, like thermostats, but some way where you could just have the map in the home app in the device card, and like you can select the rooms there. Like that's really all I need. And I don't care, like it would be nice if it mapped to the actual HomeKit rooms, but if it doesn't, fine. But I just need the map. Like I need to be able to say like go to these rooms and just the ones I selected. So I would not buy a new vacuum just for this if that feature isn't available. But it's very tempting. Like it's,
I mean,
to be able to do this. Yeah.
All this is speculation, but first off in my head, I don't see that as being the one thing that's added, right? I would imagine like,
Right.
oh, we have these other new features, plus we have support for Matter. So if there was a new model from pick a company, Ecovacs, Roborock, whatever, I would imagine there's other new things there. Plus, once you have
Sure.
support for Matter, like that's in there, if Matter 1.3, so Matter says they're going to, or CSA kind of says 2 more releases next year as usual, so we'll have like 1.3 and 1.4 coming out in 2024. They say those will continue to add new product categories and new functionality. So if we had that functionality then, I could see that easily coming to existing Matter-enabled robots. So the question is just then, like, you're like baked in. You got the functionality already, then you're right on it when that comes
True.
out. So I could see upgrading for it because I would want to try it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, other things like the dryers, dishwashers, and washing machine or launder machines. Excuse me.
But say, to be specific, there is no dryers. This is just the washing of clothes, not the drying of them.
Oh, for real?
Yup. Yes?
Oh.
Dryers are coming in a forthcoming update.
Andrew, what kind of madness is that you would do a washer but not the dryer of any pair of devices? Like, leave out the dishwashers or something and do... Anyway, that section, like, my dryer is very old. I would easily replace that in a heartbeat. Same with the washing machine. And those are, like, 2 devices where, man, to get a notification that it's done... And I know you have this, I think, with your Samsung Smart Things.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't have that yet. And so... I'm due to upgrade those things. To get a HomeKit notification that the dryer is done and just that the wash is done, huge. Like, that sounds like a little thing, but that would be a big deal. Like, I would totally do that. And even just like to create little HomeKit automations where maybe like a light changes colors for a moment, when the washing machine finishes, 100% would do that. And same with the dishwasher. Like, there are times when, I don't know about upgrading my dishwasher just for this, but to be able to set the timer maybe remotely, or maybe you set a timer, but you're like we're not using it anymore. Like, I'm in bed. Let me just start the dishwasher, and then also to know when that dishwasher is finished, I think would be a big deal too. So I'm in for all these categories. I love it. Hope they add dryers soon, and we'll see. I'm excited for it. I'm excited this is finally it's happening, Andrew. Matter is
Right?
actually happening, and it's making a difference.
This is a huge difference. So I want to go through a couple other things really quick, hitting on some of the features that these are going to unlock. So fridges, you have temperature control and monitoring from the Home app, but you're also going to have, like, it's not just fridges. This is also going to cover freezers. This isn't a dryer situation. It also covers freezers. But we have deep freezes, and they even support like wine and kimchi fridges, which is like very
Wow.
specific and niche. So
Very
air conditioners, we have these already in HomeKit, right? But now they're going to allow you to have like standalone AC units, which I haven't really seen before in HomeKit. I've only seen like window units and like smart thermostats, but this would enable like the one that sits in your living room, like I have that we have set over like my mother-in-law's house that I could show in HomeKit. Your dishwasher's basic functionality, start and progress notifications, but also errors for the water supply, drain, temperature, and door lock. Laundry machines, cycle completion and notifications, all of that matter, or dryers coming soon. Smoke and carbon dioxide, similar to what we have already, just added through Matter. Air quality sensors, bunch of different specifics here. So PM1, PM2.5, PM10, CO2, NO2, VOCs, CO, ozone, radon, formaldehyde. We can have radon detectors now in HomeKit. Like, these are specific things that we did not detect already in HomeKit. So a lot more information. For air purifiers, we have similar stuff on these, but fans. This is cool too. So fans, this is a big upgrade for HomeKit users. You now can support individual, like, standalone fans, which I have not seen, like a box fan that would work with HomeKit. No. But even for your ceiling fan, Steven, you can control things like airflow direction. So like in the winter, when you want your fans to go up, you can just toggle it in HomeKit, and it could do it. You can also be able to change the airflow, which we already knew that one. So that's the other thing. They have sleep mode would be supported via Matter. So again, HomeKit, like for a lot of these things, they'll support sleep mode, which will do things like drop it to a quiet level and dim the lights, but you always have to do it through the manufacturer app. Now all of that is in HomeKit, or at least will be. So this is pretty sweet. This is what we've been waiting for, is all of this new functionality. This is the first one that's just adding a ton of functionality stuff, even if you're not using those other platforms.
Wow. A whole new world. It's amazing. Matter. I hadn't sung in a while. I felt like it was time to do it. That's pretty exciting. I'm not going to lie. And
I do wonder if the Samsung stuff is going to get updated, because they are, they do run on SmartThings. I don't know if they're going to update their existing smart, because I don't know how much of a difference there is. And maybe they don't even need to be, maybe just going through the SmartThings hub. Like, maybe if my SmartThings hub is updated to Matter 1.2, it'll work.
That's true.
Because I don't know. We'll see.
That's true. We'll see. Exciting. 2024, I think, is going to be an exciting year for HomeKit and Matter in general. That's pretty cool. All right. A final review here. The LG StandByMe Go. Isn't this the TV in the briefcase? Is that what this is? No? What? Andrew's very excited here. I don't know what he's making faces. Oh my goodness. He literally has a Mission Impossible style briefcase. Wow. He is covering the frame. LG's wow.
Human for scale of this.
Human for scale. It's a big briefcase. You have this briefcase TV. Wow.
I have it. It's right here, Steven. This is it. So now that we have this to play with, plastic case, it's like a grayish beige for anyone who's not listening, and it almost
Andrew's having to work out during the segment. I'm like, this thing is so heavy.
It's almost got like retro like 90s tech vibes, like with like the beigeish gray color that this case is. So handle here on the top. There's also a little IR port where the remote control connects to or points at. Around the back of this thing, Steven, you're going to see two little like rubber-covered panels. One is for your inputs and the other is for your power. So again, about 3 hours of battery life on this thing when it's charged. So you can just take it with you, throw it in the back of your Jeep and watch like an Ohio State game while you're at the park. Throw it in the backyard and watch baseball. Like, so many options. Apparently, I can only think of sports ones, but
movies,
3 hours of battery.
TV show.
It does have HDMI inputs on the back, so you could connect like your Apple TV, your PlayStation, whatever it is. There's also USB input and an additional IR blaster if you wanted to like put this somewhere like specific, and then route your IR blaster to use the remote. And then a physical power button on the back. But
what is this thing?
This is an amazing thing, Steven. An amazing thing. Oh, gosh. I wish I could even, like, put this on camera better. Hold on. We're going to try this.
Andrew's standing up.
We're standing up, folks.
Oh my word! I don't know what's about to happen.
It is a smart TV running WebOS, which for anyone who remembers is the Palm operating system that LG had purchased and is now running on all their TVs. Now,
I remember distinctly. I was a Palm pre-owner. Okay, I loved WebOS.
Okay, here it is. There, the back is
goodness,
actually the speaker, and then there's our TV.
Wow,
flat on the
there's
bottom.
the TV. What is happening?
You just lift the sides, and this thing comes right up. It like wakes up when you when you open the case. The TV automatically comes on. Lift it up again. Look at that.
Look at this.
There
and
it is.
It's a touchscreen too, right?
Oh, Steven, of course it's a touchscreen because it's got games. Steven, it's got games. It's a giant tablet. Yeah, you can move it around. You can play.
Oh my goodness, Andrew's
put
moving.
it flat, play chess. It actually can rotate vertically, and there's a TikTok for TVs app. There's literally a TikTok for TVs app. There you go, a vertical shot right there. The interface is quite nice, actually. I have not seen this version of WebOS as the basis of anything, but you have weather and stuff going on. I can jump right into, you don't have to tap into AirPlay, but it does have AirPlay too, so you can mirror your phone and all that. Bunch of apps. So I've got Apple TV, Apple Music, Netflix, Prime, Disney, Hulu, Max, Peacock, all of those. YouTube. There are a bunch of games on here. And when I swipe to the far left, you can do things like pull up wallpapers and background stuff. There's this music mode, so you can connect your stuff over Bluetooth, and it pulls up this record player interface. Yeah.
Oh my word.
So you can lay it flat and then let the back be the speaker. So you can kind of see what that looks like. Record player action with a speaker going. Boom.
That is wild. Wild.
So it actually supports full HomeKit. You can swipe from the bottom to go back. There's a smart control section here that's still loading because it gets onto the Wi-Fi. But anything that you've added to the LG smart home, so any LG appliances can all show up here inside of this. It literally has a smart home dashboard on this.
Wow. Andrew, what in the world?
It's so cool. It's so cool, and I love it.
Now, listen, this is a video idea. You're not near a beach, but if you were just, you dress up in a suit, full suit, tie, you have this briefcase, you walk onto a beach, okay? You set up your chair, you set up this briefcase down on a little table, open it, put the screen in vertical mode, and then just start scrolling TikTok in a full suit on the beach. 10 million views immediately. That would be amazing. That's wild.
Since it does support HomeKit, you can turn it on and off with the Home app. You can change the inputs via the Home app, and it can open up the settings on there so you can change them. So basic HomeKit controls, if you had this in a permanent setup situation, but I obviously like it for its portability. But
sure, so portable.
It's wild. Okay, show me your more portable TV,
Steven.
TV,
yeah.
Listen, it is the most on the beach.
It's the most portable TV I've ever seen. I will give you that.
Thank you.
Actually, I think my grandma used to have one of those old school 3-inch black and white portable TVs that just had an antenna. That was portable.
Did you get those as prizes for selling magazine cookies or something in middle school? Because I'm pretty sure we had those as prize. I think Faith used to watch baseball games on one of hers like that. I don't know.
It was I'm gonna find an image.
Well,
because
it's actually really bright. The screen on this is very bright, and it's got a matte finish. And it resists fingerprints really well because Harrison immediately started poking it, and I didn't see any of his tiny little child fingers. But I will say, it's so nice. Right now, it is 70 degrees out. It is wonderful. But how are you gonna watch? Hockey is on. The World Series is wrapping up this weekend, I think, or starting this weekend. And
you can watch the Apple event on it.
You could watch the Apple event because it's right there through the TV app or through the YouTube app. But
that's right.
I love being outside. I do. We have a lake house up in Michigan that we go to all the time. We have a lake house an hour away from here that my grandpa had gotten ages and ages ago that the whole family shares. And being able to be outside and still, watching football and stuff together is way more fun than being stuck inside watching those things. And I have portable projectors. I've tried portable projectors, but none of them are going to be bright enough for outside. They're like great when you're camping in the woods and it's 11 p.m. But for your normal stuff, like it doesn't do it. And this is very cool. We also like to play a lot of games, so my friends will come over and we'll like play like co-ops. But a lot of times, like we want full TVs, we just pull this out and we have a whole second TV. Or if we want to watch like a football game while we're playing Borderlands, like we can pull up one on the big TV and the game on the other TV. There's so many possibilities, Stephen.
Be the ultimate LAN party. Just come, like 4 guys just come in with this briefcase, set up their own personal 27-inch TV, and play some kind of LAN. This is the only more portable TV that I've seen. This is the back in the 1980s RCA 9-inch portable. 9 inches. That's not bad. Portable TV. You can still buy it for $100 on eBay. Look at this thing. You got 2 dials. You got the antenna. I mean, this thing it's even got a built-in handle. I mean,
same.
Come on now. Anyway, yeah. No, that's really cool. Honestly, like, I would have brought that camping too. Because even if you're in the woods and in the middle of the night, like setting up a sheet, trying to set up the projector in the right way, like this TV, like that's cool. And like, it's $1,200. It's not cheap, but it's also not like astronomical. Like I feel like a few years ago, if this product existed, it would have been like $8,000. And so, that's fun. I'd love to hear about your actual use cases.
It's such a weird product, but everyone I've showed it to has been like, that's really cool. Like, it's like, man, I don't have $1,200 to spend on a spare TV, but it's really cool. Because that's always the thing. It's like, it's not a permanent setup TV that you collapse down. It's one that's going to stay folded up in its briefcase that you're going to then bring with you. So you have to have just the money for a spare TV. And like, I know my brother just bought like a cheap generic TV, but like a 70-inch TV for like $1,000 or $1,200. So you could get a massive, 4K 70-inch television for a similar price as this. But I don't know. I like the outside. We travel around a lot. I think this is going to be really fun to play with.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not knocking it. So I'll put a link to this LG StandByMe Go 27-inch briefcase design touchscreen. I mean, you can play big chess too. I mean, that's kind of fun. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, very cool. Are you going to do a review on this thing? You going to have a video on it?
I think so. I think I have to, Stephen. I have to.
I mean, I think you have to. I think you have to too. Well, check out or be on the lookout for that video, youtube.com/Apple Insider. Then you can watch. You can see it right now if you're watching this episode at youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. Andrew literally live demoed this. Some of the shots it was a little obscured, but it's pretty good. You did your best.
Hey, it's 27 inches. It's not small.
It's a hard thing to navigate. Not small, not light.
It's not light. I don't know how heavy this is, but it's not light.
No, it doesn't look light. You can also reach out to Andrew and I on all the social medias, and also keep an eye out tonight. Scary Fast Apple event. If you're listening as the episode comes out, new Macs, USB-C peripherals. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some kind of crazy announcement as well. One more
Apple
thing.
TV smart screen.
Hey, I mean, I'm all for another Apple TV too. Imagine an M2 Apple TV. Where we could finally get serious about like gaming or something.
Especially now that Apple is like embracing like gaming more seriously, right? I mean, we got Assassin's Creed coming, and it can only run. It sounds like, from what I heard, it could only run on the new iPhones. Like, it can't even run on Apple TV because it doesn't have the good enough chip yet. So we're gonna need a new chip.
There was the new what was it, NBA 2K24 on Apple Arcade. That came out too. I mean, it'd be cool if you could get that on Apple TV, like a
100%.
decked out Apple TV. Anyway, keep your eyes peeled on appleinsider.com. We'll talk about everything next time. Let us know if you're excited about Matter 1.2, if you would upgrade your robot vacuum. Subscribe to the channel, all the things. Links are in the description. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
See you, everyone.